Shalom, yo.
Shalom,
You hear me all right?
Come on.
All right. Most sign Christ going on, Warrior.
Not much, sir. No.
Damn right. Just had the shock on here. I don't know where he went.
Ghost.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, Shalom, Israel. We'll get started in a little bit, y'all. Just giving it time for brothers and sisters to come into the class. If you're already in, if you joined in already, make sure you get your pen and your paper, something to take notes with. If you have any questions, get that ready. And we'll get started in a little bit. So y'all just bear with me, y'all. There you go. Shalom. You can hear me good, Officer in the shop?
Shalom, sir. Y'all shop I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Most High Christ.
All right, yeah, we'll get started in a little bit. Also, sometimes I'll be having trouble hearing y'all say Salakia when I be speaking sometimes, man. When I was watching the class last week, I ain't ignoring y'all, you know what I'm saying? So if I don't hear y'all, you can scream it out or something. Say it a few times, I'll definitely get to y'all.
Shit, ain't necessary. I ain't pressed about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so you know what I mean. We all saying the same thing.
that's not correct.
What's that, Christ?
Yeah. If only you had like a button on here where you can notify the speaker or something like that. But yeah, they ain't got that on here.
A little
I know
family tree
Zoom
button.
got it right, the raise a hand button. All right, Israel, man, let's go ahead and get it started, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Give it up, clap it up. In the building, you know what I'm saying? Got Austin the Shock with me, Trooper Mathiah, you know what I'm saying? Also in the building, got Officer Ayala. You know what I'm saying? We are the ISUPK, started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. All right. We're actually recording live right now from Orlando in the Hart Memorial Library. So if you're in Kissimmee, Poinciana, Coley, wherever you at in the Central Florida area, we are holding classes out here every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30 in Kissimmee, Florida. Right, that's the Hart Memorial Library from 6:30 to 8:30. So come on by, man. Get all your questions answered direct. All right. In the meantime, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. You know what I'm saying? You can ask any questions, man. Other than that, man, I'll jump into the topic. Questions. Give y'all some time.
If I could,
Kind.
uh, could I get the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns?
Okay, kind.
Can I get those?
The nation name. Okay, kind. I'll give you those whenever you're ready. Y'all heard the brother questions?
Sir.
All right. The question was the name of the 7 heads and the 10 horns that we briefly went over last week. And I just want y'all to. Probably gonna give a feedback. So yeah, I just wanted to reiterate it just in case somebody else had the same question. All right, so that's in Revelations 13. And it kind of goes along with the topic today, right? It's basically a continuation of what we talked about last week. World War III. You know what I'm saying? That is the hot topic. If you haven't heard about it, well, you are missing out. I don't know where you've been. You know what I'm saying? It went from COVID-19 straight to World War III. You went from wearing a mask to protect you from a virus to possibly wearing a gas mask to protect you from radiation in this nuclear war that's about to come on this earth. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is not playing with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he is about love. Yes, he's about mercy and forgiveness. But that ain't the only attributes of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? He also gets angry, right? And right now we at the point of the Most High anger that he's getting ready to show on this earth. All right. So Revelations 13. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the 7 heads. The 7 heads will be Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. All right. Once again, the 7 heads is Portugal, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and England. Right. These are the 7 nations that was formed after Rome fell. Right. They became the prominent families and the prominent nations around that time, and they end up establishing themselves as a country throughout time. Right. And then once they established themselves as a country, you had subsidiaries or other smaller minor countries that came from those seven heads, right? Which is what the 10 horns represent. All right, so the 10 horns will be Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Luxembourg, Ireland, Switzerland,
Ireland,
Ireland,
Switzerland,
Switzerland, all right, America, Scotland, Sweden, and Australia. All right, so once again, the 10 horns will be Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Luxembourg, Ireland, Switzerland, America, Scotland, Sweden, and Australia. Right? These are the 10 other nations, European nations, that came out of these seven heads. After they formed as a country, those seven heads, like I stated, were the prominent ones, right? The ones that had the most power. Eventually, they became a country. Now, the 10 horns is the subsidiaries or the smaller minor countries that came from these seven heads, right? What they call the 10 common market countries, right, of Europe. And later on, they began to form a union with each other, which is known today as the European Union, right? This is the beast that governs the earth today, right? That beast is talking about people. It's talking about nations, right? It's not an actual beast with seven heads that you're going to see in these last days, right? It's all letting you know who's going to be the rulers in the last days, right? And this is what the seven heads and the 10 horns represent. All right. That's Tawaba Asura. Go ahead.
Okay, could you give me a breakdown on Revelations 17, 17 and 16?
All right, what that say?
It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast,
Mm-hmm.
these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire."
Mm-hmm. Right. So you have, when Trump was in office, right, these 10 horns represent European countries, right? The whore that is talking about is who?
Salaki, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be America?
Right. That would be the U.S., right? Specifically, right? America, you have Canada that's part of America, you know what I'm saying? But specifically, the U.S. is that great whore, right? This is the nation right now that is the most wealthiest and that's fornicate themselves, meaning join themselves with every other country just for gain and power. Shalom, yo, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. You know what I'm saying? So, and when Trump was in office, there was a big talk between if America was trying to leave NATO, right? I mean, do anybody familiar with that talk when Trump was in office? Okay, when Trump was in office, he was making claims about he wanted to leave NATO, right? Because he was feeling like that there was nothing beneficial of United States being joined with the NATO group or whatever, countries or whatever, right? So you have, the European countries that was upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Upset about, the way that America was going, trying to be separate from them. Meanwhile, they didn't got all type of wealth from America. You know what I'm saying? But, Trump motto was America first. Let's put ourselves first. Let's get wealthy first. Let's take all this wealth and just keep it for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that started to create little controversy and little political wars between America, the United States of America, and so-called European countries. You get what I'm saying? But now you got Biden, who's making sure that he don't even, disrupt anything with NATO, keeping the union together. You know what I'm saying? So that way they don't lose their seat in power. You know what I'm saying? But eventually all these nations is gonna go to war with each other. Right? The white man, he try to talk about love and talk about peace. Meanwhile, you got white on white crime going on right now in Ukraine. He can't even show love amongst each other. Right? Ukraine is a place that's part of Russia, right? Ukraine is part of Russia, and you got Vladimir Putin and the Russian military bombing Ukraine right now, killing white folks, people that look just like them. That's probably their cousin, so from the distant relatives or something like that. For sure it is, right? You know what I'm saying? But they turn on each other and seeking power. You know what I'm saying? They turn on each other and wanting, authority on this earth. And that's going to same thing that's going to happen with multiple European countries. They ain't going to stop here. You know what I'm saying? Even in the time of World War II, you had certain European countries against other European countries. You know what I'm saying?
So
Go ahead.
you said Trump was saying that he was saying that America should separate from NATO. Okay, I'm gonna find that.
Yeah, if you look that up.
Okay, so that being said,
Mhm.
so basically the ground is being set, or it's being set for these other 10 horns to go to disapprove of what America is doing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
basically.
saying?
Mhm.
So, you know what I'm saying? They got Russia in action. They not really necessarily the citizens or whatsoever are already disapproving of what America is doing by not sending troops in. You got the last thing I saw was a military veteran that caught a plane to Ukraine himself,
Yeah,
or near Ukraine himself, if he can't get into there, to go in to train Ukrainian troops.
man.
So he on his own
Right.
He just get up
right.
there, he go,
God.
what the hell's wrong with these guys?
Yeah, like
So,
they and being that U.S. is that superpower, everybody's waiting on for the U.S. to make a move, right? You got these other NATO countries that's right there on the eastern part of Europe, and they're looking for some type of relief from America, some type of extra assistance, military assistance. But Biden don't even want to get involved in it. You get what I'm saying? Because that's gonna mess up, whatever he got going on. You know what I'm saying? They just announced today, they had a press conference today of how they banning the oil from Russia, right? So they can, jam up Russia economy, right? But that took, you know, days for that to even come to pass because the war started at the end of February. Because Biden understand that he's still making money off of Russia, still making bread off it. You dig what I'm saying? So you don't want to mess that up. You know what I'm saying? But these other countries and corporations like the hell with that. We got to get rid of Putin, or else we're gonna go to World War III. You know? Go ahead.
Slightly, sir. I just wanted to say, like, how do they know that Putin ain't prepared for this? I didn't know. It was like, why? Like all these years, he was like saving up his money
Mm-hmm.
because it takes money to go to war.
Yeah, it does.
And of course, he done been in this position before.
Mm-hmm.
He know, like, okay, they gonna throw sanctions. They gonna try to cut us off here. They gonna. How you know this time around he ain't prepared for all of it?
Oh, he's prepared now.
Right.
Yeah,
You
he
know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
He
Like,
for sure
how did
prepared.
okay, we gonna stop his pocket, but he been building up since forever. You know how many, you know how many millionaires in Russia, like almost close to billionaires, that's a part of his little crew.
Right.
They got money.
Mm-hmm.
Slovakia,
Go ahead.
Slovakia. It's
Also.
Warner Music Group is owned by Russia. There's only 3 major music companies in America. They call them the big 3. So you got Universal Music Group, you got it's another one. Then it's Warner Music Group. Warner Music Group is owned by Russia. He's a Russian billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So all these rappers and all these a lot of this television show and media, you know, it's owned by Russia.
Right.
And benefit from that. Also, they were saying down in Miami, to where it's like a island right off of the coast. You know, not too far off the coast. Not that far. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you call it, a strait or something like that.
Like
To where you just got a little, you just got a little, you know, body of water, and the land is right there. It's not too far from the mainland. It's a Russian, a lot of Russian billionaires and wealthy live on that small strait. You know what I'm saying? So they were saying, are they going to be affected by what's going on in Russia? Are you going to penalize them? You know what I'm saying? Because of what's going on in Russia.
God.
So
Yeah. And look at that. Even Russia is even part of one of the seven heads. You know what I'm saying? On this beast. But yet they having conflict amongst each other.
there you
You
go.
know what I'm saying? These not my fault. I was just gonna say a house divided, you know, amongst itself cannot stand. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like it's an animal attacking itself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Damn right.
It's a beautiful thing to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Damn
It's a
right.
lot.
Damn right. So good Lord ahead for that one. This is it, y'all. This is it. You know, this is what the prophets prayed for. You know what I'm saying? All of the prophets in the Old Testament and the New Testament as well prayed for the day of the Lord, where the Lord can give them justice and seek vengeance for all the pain and hurt that the Lord's people have been through, man. It's been 400 years since we've been 400 plus, matter of fact, you know, to be exact. You know, it's been more than 400. You know what I'm saying? With the Lord's people been in bondage, man. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's out there saying pray for the slaves, pray for the black people, you know, pray for the Mexican children. Nobody called the U.S. government inhumane for what they did during 2020 and killing George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Killing brothers like Trayvon Martin, locking Mexican children up, you know, beating Haitian people at the border. But yet, a little white country gets bombed here and there, and you know, it's the end of the, you know, everybody losing their mind and want to pray for Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Lord is going to bring us justice, man. You know what I'm saying? The hell with these other nations. We're going to get the justice that we so rightfully deserve, man, if we serve the Most High. All right. Somebody said, Salakia, my bad.
Oh, come on, sir. What's so heavy? What you're saying about that? That's like General Yohana was bringing out about, you know, what, 7 days? It only took 7 days for America to cut them a $64 billion check, and we've been in slavery and all types of nonsense for 400 years, and they just doing a $1 trillion check, but that's not even going to us.
Good night. Look at that, man. And I was reading an article as well where all the refugees from Ukraine are not going to be, you know, faced with any type of deportation. They don't need no legal status or any papers, anything like that. They can just bring them right on in, show them that they're Ukrainian, and they'll be good to live here. Meanwhile, when war broke out in Mexico and our people were seeking asylum from the U.S., they was locked up in cages. You know what I'm saying? They was deported back to the war zone in Mexico. You get what I'm saying? And you know, that should tell you that the Lord is not looking for us to join everybody on this earth. You get what I'm saying? I hear an echo, man. My bad. Somebody got me. Kyle, go ahead.
Man, that's also should show you that we are the nation that's despised, that's not wanted. Like, we are that nation that nobody wants to help, that nobody cares for, that nobody loves. We that nation that everybody want to oppress and kill and all of that. Just like how you were saying, like our Mexican brothers at the border, our Haitian brothers. You know how that took a lot of strength to get all the way from Haiti to Mexico.
A lot.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That took a lot. Like, and then to get here to be like turned away. You know what I'm saying?
With holding a 12-pack of water.
Right.
And some white man on a horse is whipping your back.
I probably would have died that day because I would have grabbed his ass.
That's hell. Nigga, for real.
That nigga been going in the water with me. Like, I would like, they would have had to shoot me. Like, they would have had to shoot me. I'm already up. So like,
Nah, I was just gonna say, all they doing is trying to seek asylum. They trying to get a little bit of refuge. Haiti's destroyed.
Right.
You know, Mexico's at war. They destroyed. They in poverty. So they just want a little bit, you know, a little bit from the oppressor.
And it's Lucky. That's what I was saying. Just think about like that whole journey coming to get over here. To have some white man on a horse whipping you. Then you know what I did to get over here to reach land? And then you want to hit me with a stick or whatever it is? Because I probably would have been fed up at that point. I would have been like, you know what? If death coming for me, somebody coming with me. I already done made it over here. I damn near escaped it over there. I'm not about to do this.
God, man. Yeah, right.
Man, you know what you talking about now. You know what you talking about. Hey, trust me, them brothers ready to take. It's ready.
I already know. I'm surprised they did.
Shit, you said Salakia, Ron.
Yeah, I had that article about concerning the veterans from here that's catching flights over there.
Okay, you wanted to bring something out on it?
Yeah, it says it's the New York Times. I can't stand by. American veterans join the fight in Ukraine. Let me just get to the meat of it. So this is a military. Hector, a former Marine, boarded a flight to Warsaw on Friday to help Ukraine in its fight against Russia. Sanctions can help, but sanctions can't help right now.
There you
people
go.
need help right now.
There you go.
So it says that he was responding to Vladimir. What the hell is his name? Not Vladimir. Vladimir Zelensky. That's Ukraine's president. He said he was responding to his request for help around the world. You know what I'm saying? To assist in this war or whatsoever. So you know what I'm saying? With 16 being direct relation to
what's going on, Kai? Yeah, like, you know, this is white on white crime that we witnessing right now. You know what I'm saying? What black people should do, serve the Lord. Right? Get back with the Most High, build your nation back up, and let these devils kill each other. Bomb each other, blow each other up with bombs, and do all type of craziness to each other. While we stay separate and serving the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our key to our salvation. Right? So that answers question.
Yeah, that's
God.
Yeah, that's it.
God, both sides correct.
So like,
Not go ahead.
Recap, what's gonna happen is those other 10 horns, they're gonna disapprove of the way that one horn, which is America, they're gonna disapprove of the way they move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that whole thing is happening right in front of my face.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly right now. God. All right. I'll see y'all. What's up? Shalom. I see you, Warrior. Whenever you get time, go ahead and log in. I posted the link on the chat. I see y'all Salapiyad in the building as well. Shalom, Warrior.
Hey, shalom.
Any other
Christ,
questions?
can you hear me?
Questions in the room? Anybody got a question?
Like, sir, can you hear me?
Somebody said Salakia.
Yeah, that's me. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I hear you. My badge is a little low.
Nah, that might be me. I just walked out to slavery.
Okay.
Now I was gonna say, I caught the tail end of what y'all was saying. I know y'all was talking about Americans joining over there with Ukraine. Yeah, I had posted something about it the other day, but basically the Ukrainian embassy said that they received like 3,000 applications from Americans wanting to join the fight over there. I thought that was crazy.
Man.
That was
3,000 applications, man. You know what I'm saying? God. Yeah, that's it.
Like you said,
God.
That just goes to show you the nature of the devil. He don't care who fight it is. He want to fight. He want to kill something. He want to. If there's somewhere where somebody we can go and get killed or kill somebody and do some damage to people, they don't care.
Yeah.
They just want to join in. Now, this is gonna put pressure on Biden again because you're gonna have American people going over there getting killed, and then the American people gonna
have to retaliate.
Yeah, they're gonna lash out against Biden because American people got killed.
Right. God. Yo. Go ahead.
So like, if I may, what it shows is that what you were saying earlier, a house divided against itself can't stand. You got your so-called head is telling you not to move. You taking it upon yourself to move in. They taking it upon themselves to move anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He didn't tell. He's the commander in general. What do they call him? Commander in general.
Chief in command.
Chief in command.
Yeah, something like
He's
right.
the one that's supposed to ultimately say if the Army moves or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Army vets, this, that, and the other, that knows that this is the disapprove of the his command.
God.
So we watching it fall apart right in front of our face. You know what I'm
Damn
saying?
right. Divided in decision. You do, you know what I'm saying? Right? Yep. That's exactly right.
Salakia, sir.
Kind go ahead.
One last thing. You know who
Nah,
need to
no,
be out there though? They in the hood want to shoot people and do all that. Where Kyle Rittenhouse at? Why don't he go over there and help
right.
Ukraine? Where
right.
George Zimmerman at? Why don't he go help Ukraine? How about that?
God, damn right. Send all of them. You know what I'm saying? Damn right, man. Send George Zimmerman, that damn police officer that shot Michael Brown, all of them. You know what I'm saying? They thirsty for blood with his opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, they just want to fight against black and brown
Right.
folks.
That's all it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But any other questions, y'all? Any other questions?
Salaki, if I could, real quick,
Nah, go
I
ahead.
just want to show a
I got
little something, while we're speaking on this.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to show the difference between us. I'm gonna bring this up real quick. So we have these different families, everybody. This is definitely Esau taking care of his own. This is American. This is the Ukrainians, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is it's quite a big difference
God.
of
Chosen
how they
people of
treat
God.
us and how they treat theirs. Now this is a different family right here. The Arabics, Africans. These are different refugees fleeing. And we know who this is, right?
Right. Chosen people of God. Tribe of Issachar, man.
I just wanted to bring that out so we can really see how they really treat us, the difference of the different families.
God, that's heavy, man. The water, that's heavy, man. And we got to take note of that.
It's delayed, but it's still up on the screen.
Okay.
So it's a slight delay.
Okay. From what you watch? Yeah, from the phone.
And then to here,
YouTube.
but it's showing.
Okay. God, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we joining the oppressor and trying to integrate and thinking that he love us. You know what I'm saying? It's only what's destroying us. It's further destroying us as a people. Right? And think about it. These people that's coming out here as refugees from other nations, these heathen nations, they have a government. They have a country. They have a land that they can still rely on even when America even deports them or bans them. You get what I'm saying? Our people don't have nowhere to go, man. Everywhere they go, man, is being controlled by an oppressor. They're going back to the hellhole, to the land that, a white man is ruling over them and living in poverty and have no assistance or no help in their needs, man. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, these other heathens, they can find help, whether from America or from their own, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about time that we start to form a government so we can take care of ourselves. This is what's very much needed in these last days, right? Because you're living in the last days, man. You know what I'm saying? You was going to say something, Trooper Canal?
No, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So as the World War is already done kicked out, and as other nations join,
No, you got it, Canal.
Other nations join in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I know they say that like we don't know when that sky's gonna crack, but is it gonna be like before the nukes happen, or is it gonna be like already going on and then what I'm saying? Because we know that this war is gonna be a while. This is just not gonna be no over and done with type of thing.
Wow.
So I was just wondering, like, in the midst of all that, as we get close, as we get nigh to your house shall return, is it gonna be after like most of the 2/3? Because I know we don't hope none of the 2/3 die, so we hope that the Most High change his mind like he did with Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
But is it gonna be similar to that? Like, is it gonna be like, once like shit, like stuff get real hectic, you know, once it get like real bad, is the
God.
Most High gonna see how try to intervene, or is it gonna be before that case?
Well, it's going to be in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying, according to the scriptures, right? And that goes right into the topic of today. So we might as well just, you know, just jump into the topic. We might as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into this topic, y'all. Unless anybody else got any other questions. But I'm going to answer Trooper Canuck question. What goes along with the topic? You know what I'm saying? You know, what's going on right now, if you're not aware, you are living in the last days. Things that's being done on the earth right now has never been done in any point of history, man. You know why? Because these are the signs of the times that you're in. You're in the last days. You know what I'm saying? So what you got to do is start to prepare yourself for the second coming of Yahushua, who the world known as Jesus Christ. Right? Christ is getting ready to make his return. But before he returns, all these prophecies have to come to pass. Like we talked about last week in Matthew 24 about, you know, wars and rumors of wars. Nation against shall rise against another nation, people against another people. You get what I'm saying? This is what we in right now. You know what I'm saying? And he said, you know, I'm paraphrasing, for this is the beginning of sorrows. You know what I'm saying? Be not troubled, for this is the beginning of sorrow. Right? War is going to have to break out, you know what I'm saying, before Christ makes his return. People's going to bomb each other, shoot each other in the streets, you know what I'm saying, and harm each other before Christ makes his return. And right now, you're living in that time right now, right? We have began already on this earth, World War III. If you're thinking for a time where it might come in the future, this is it right here. It started already. You know what I'm saying? World War III has started already. And like Trooper Canuck mentioned, war is not how it was in olden days, right? Where you got one group of people on one field, another group of people on one field, and they all run towards each other and meet each other at the middle of the field and battle each other right there. This is not how war is done, right? War, it continues throughout the dissipation of time, right? You can have war for like 4 years straight, 5 years, 6 years. You can have a high point in the war, a climax, and low points in the war. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's still war going on. You get what I'm saying? So this war that you in has already popped off. It's already started. You know what I'm saying? And soon enough, it's going to reach to the shores of America. And you know why? Because Christ is getting ready to make his return. And when he returns, he's not going to come to, you know, stop everybody and say, hey, guys, yeah, we're all friends here. Let's all get along. You know what I'm saying? Christ is coming to bring judgment on this earth so he can redeem his people, right? Let's first read about this man that's coming back. Let's get Revelations 1-13 real quick.
Okay.
You go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 13.
Right, start me at verse 1 first.
Come. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The revelation of Yahushua Mashiach.
Read it as it is, Baba Kasha. Nah, don't sweat.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Of who?
Of Jesus Christ.
Right, who the world know as Jesus Christ, right? His Hebrew name and the correct name for Jesus Christ is Yahushua, right? But the world know him as Jesus Christ. The Bible says that the revelation of Jesus Christ. What does the word revelation mean?
It's like,
Go ahead.
to reveal.
To reveal, right? The book of Revelation is a revealing of what's going to go on in these last days, right? And not only does it reveal the last days and all the prophecies and everything that's going to come to pass, it also reveals who Jesus Christ is and what he looks like, right? And John is getting these visions of the last days. And while he's getting it, he also gets a glimpse of Yahushua, right? He also was around when Yahushua was teaching. Before he got crucified, John was around. So he's going to reveal to you who this man is, right? One of the other prophecies Christ said that will be a sign of the last days is that there will be many crises, right? I'm paraphrasing, right? In the last days, there'll be many shall come in my name saying, I am Christ, right? And one of those is the white image that we know today, that people claim to be Jesus Christ, right? You got Arabics who have a person named Mohammed. They claim him to be a Messiah, and he looks like an Arab. You got the people in Ethiopia and Africa, and some of our brothers in the Caribbean islands who hail some Ethiopian as Jesus Christ. Everybody got their own perception of who Christ is, right? But nobody is actually going into the book and reading the actual description of Jesus Christ, right? So we were about to reveal that and read about the description of Jesus Christ. So jump me down to verse 13.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Right, in the midst of the seven candlesticks, right? What is the seven candlesticks represent? Go ahead.
The seven churches.
Right, the seven churches that was set up in Asia Minor by Paul, right? Okay. What is a church? Is a church a building? What's a church?
Mm-hmm. It's the people. It's the Lord's chosen. A body of people in like the sanctuary, like the body of people that's in.
Nah, yeah, listen, you on it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't finish it up.
God. Go ahead.
It's a body of men that follow the Most High.
Exactly, right? That's what a church actually is. All right. Before there was go ahead.
So like when you say body of men, of course those men have families,
right?
Children.
God. It's talking about those that's following the Most High, that's in authority, right? And this is what a church actually is, right? Before there was ever a building, a cathedral, or whatever they got going on today, with 3 stories and a whole stadium stage floor and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Christ was out there on the streets teaching brothers, raising brothers up. You know what I'm saying? And those brothers that follow Christ was known as a church or the congregation. You get what I'm saying? It's the body of men that serve Yahushua. It's not talking about a building, right? So in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, which represent the 7 churches or the congregation of Israelites, you had one like unto the Son of Man in the middle of them. Meaning, while everybody's gathered around, when John is seeing, he sees everybody around, right? He looks to his left, he sees brothers that serve the Most High, and he also get a glimpse of Yahushua, right? It talks about when Christ taught, he had a whole multitude that would come and listen to him. You know what I'm saying? He had people that follow him and wherever he traveled to go teach, right? So there's no different than what it's talking about. It's Christ right in front of the congregation of Israelites, the body of men, talking to them, conversing with them. You know what I'm saying? And John is seeing this in the vision, right? Read on.
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, cloth with a garment down to the foot, and a girt about the path with a golden girdle.
If we could, are you able to pull up Caesar Borgia on this joint? Somebody could pull me up Caesar Borgia. All right. Let's get this description and see if that compares to what we just read about in the Bible. All right. It's important that we reveal this in the last days because Christ warned us that there will be many that will come in his name. False Christ, false leaders talking about that they are the Messiah, that they are the way, that we should follow them and we should practice their ways, right? And in the last days, the men in the ISUPK is the only one that's actually bringing the truth of Christ, revealing the truth of Christ and letting you know who he really was and how he really looked like, right? And the first thing that John is describing is his apparel. What is he dressed in? Right? It's a group of men, a whole congregation of Israelites, and in the midst of them, bumping shoulders with them, is Yahushua. And while he's looking at him, he's describing how he how he's dressed, his apparel, right? And it said he had a garment clothed down to the foot, right? We're gonna get a picture of Caesar Borgia real quick.
The only thing I don't think it
Mhm.
doesn't connect like to like a search engine, like Google. I don't know if it connects to the search engine.
Matter of fact, there's an internet browser on there. If you back out of YouTube and like click on the apps, there should be an internet browser and you can type in Google and it should pop up. See where it says all apps right there? You jump to the side. It's like all the way at the end. Right there. Right? We're gonna get the image, right, of who people say Jesus Christ looks like. Right? The whole world is worshiping a false image of Jesus, of Yahushua, of Jesus Christ. Right? You got people that will die tooth and nail and kill somebody just for that image. Right? We be at camp and we have a wooden plank of the image of what they call Jesus Christ, right? Which is really just a random white boy, you know what I'm saying? That was the son of a pope. And we usually just throw that wooden plank on the ground and have people walk by. You get what I'm saying? Some people walk around it, right? But many times you will have people who will stop in their tracks in Ybor City, pick that wood up, and make sure they place it and holster it on one of the signs so it don't be flat on the floor, all right? Because people can't stand to see who they know as Jesus Christ just laying on the floor that way, right? They see this white image and they're like, oh no, not my Lord and Savior. Let me go ahead and pick this sign up and holster it right here next to the sign so it can stand right up. You know what I'm saying? But we encourage everybody that walk by to step on it. You know what I'm saying? Because that is not the actual image of Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying?
Trip to not step on Caesar Borgia.
Right. They be going crazy, man. So in the meantime, while the brother get it, we gonna break it down, right? Until we can get the image up. So read that part one more time for me.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, cloth with a garment down to the foot.
Right. He had a garment down to the foot, meaning he was dressed in Israelite apparel. Read on.
And a girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Right. And his apparel on his garment, he also had a golden girdle, right? Which is a war belt that protects your midsection. You know what I'm saying? Christ had that on, dressed in his Israelite attire, dressed like a Jew. Now, every time you see an image of who they claim to be Jesus Christ, what cultural apparel is he dressed in? Go ahead.
Roman.
A Roman what? What's that their apparel called?
You say it all the time. I forget that.
Yeah, don't sweat. Don't sweat. Do anybody know what what it's called?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
It's called a toga.
Right, a Roman toga. Right, where they got a huge sheet and they wrap it around their body a couple times and they go across their body, right? And culturally, that is a Roman apparel. This is how the Romans dress, right? You have many nations on this earth that have an attire that represents their culture, that represents their identity, right? You got Japanese people that wear kimonos, right? That's their cultural attire, right? You got Arabs that wear robes and turbans, right? That's their cultural attire, right? Africans will put a plate in their lip and put a stick through their nose or something like that, or a bone through their nose, right? This is what they wear culturally so they can identify themselves on who they are, right? And Christ, being a Jew, dressed like a Jew, right? Christ was not no Greek. He was not no Caucasian man. He was not no white man, right? He was a Jew, so he dressed like a Jew, right? Now, the $1 million question got to be is, well, what is the cultural attire for black people? Right? Before we became slaves here in America, how did we dress culturally? That gotta be the million. Am I wrong, Canuck? That gotta be the $1 million question. If every nation got a clothing dress code that they can identify their culture with, well, what was our dress code as a people that identify who we are? Right? We wasn't wearing Versace on them slave ships. You didn't have no Gucci handbag. You know what I'm saying? The skinny jeans and all that. You was not doing that. You adopted that culture from your slave master. The suit and ties that they love to wear in church. Right? Go ahead. We was wearing, we was right. You was wearing hoodies. You know what I'm saying? God, go ahead.
Man, let them tell us we was just wearing one piece of sheepskin in the front and a piece of rope in the back. Like I'm trying to say, we like
right. He stripped you of your culture. He stripped you of who you are, right? And told you to dress like this, right? That's why you go into church. They're not dressed like Christ dressed. They don't have a garment down to the foot. They don't have a war belt. You know what they have on? A suit and a tie. Now, where did they get that apparel culturally from? So-called white man. That's how he dressed. He dresses with a suit and tie, you know what I'm saying? A button up and slacks and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we are following the culture of our oppressor, right? Well, Christ being a Jew, he dressed like a Jew, right? Black people, you are the real Jews. We got to start bringing back our culture, taking back our culture, taking back our identity, and dress how our forefathers dressed, our ancestors dressed, like Yahushua, right? You was gonna say something, Triple Canuck?
No, I was just gonna say Salaki, sir. Isn't that what he said when who that was? That's when he seen Matthew.
If you could, my fault, Canuck. If you could just type in Jesus Christ. Yeah, just I'm sure. Listen, if you type in Jesus Christ, you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's no sweat. No sweat. You go ahead. Go ahead.
That's when he seen
sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to get to the Google page.
Okay, yeah, it's no sweat.
It's not that responsive. It's not that fast.
God, no sweat. If you hit Google search, pop up. Was it loaded now? So what you saying, Canuck? There you go. Look at it. Let me pull this. Let me pull this so everybody can see. You can, get a huge image. Pull them up so we can see who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? Y'all probably can't see it right now, but the brother's gonna pull it up. Look at that. They blocked it.
Maybe complete secure transaction. So let's go back.
Oh, sweat. You know what I'm saying? All right. Christ dressed like his nation. You know what I'm saying? He dressed in his proper cultural attire. Okay, there we go. You know what I'm saying? For the meantime, we'll pull up what Trooper Mathia got. You know what I'm saying? You see that image right there. You already associate that image with Jesus Christ. Right? And look how he's dressed. That is what a Roman toga is. All right? He got the white on with the little red thing that goes across. You know what I'm saying? That's a Roman custom. Right? Christ did not dress like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's strike one against that false image right there. Right? Let's continue on.
If I could.
Somebody says Salaki. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, like, when you first brought it out about how, how the different nations dress. Okay, when you first said that, the first thing came to my mind was they don't dress like that no more.
Right.
The white man has conquered everybody. Now, you know what I mean? Like Saddam Hussein, before he died, he wore a suit. Okay, you go to China, they wear a suit and tie. All these different nations, the East Indians, they wear suit and tie because it shows that the white man has conquered them, just like
Right.
niggas, just like
Right.
the Christian church, everybody across the world, the world has been given into the hand of the wicked, which is the white man. He's conquered everybody. Now everybody emulates him. That's it, sir.
Damn right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even practice their ancient cultures no more, right? What they had a movie called The Last Samurai. You know what I'm saying? Where it's about how the European, so-called Caucasian man went in Japan and tried to kill off all the samurais, right? And push their culture onto the Japanese. Now today you see the Japanese and like Officer Nishak said, in the suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? They in a suit and tie and a button up. You know what I'm saying? You see Arabs in suit and ties dressing like the people that conquered them. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor went around this earth and conquered other nation and forced them to take the mark of the beast. Forced them to bow down to the image of Caesar Borgia, who the world try to claim is Jesus Christ. Right? That's what your oppressor did. He wants to be looked as the God on this earth. You know what I'm saying? So he goes out and gets an image of the greatest man that's recorded in the Bible and make that image to be himself and forces people to bow down to that image and follow him. So whatever he says, God must go. If he says dress like this, well, it must be God telling me to do it because he looks just like the image I pray to. You get what I'm saying? This is what the oppressor has done all throughout the planet Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Most importantly, God's chosen people, man. Right? All right, let's continue on Revelation.
Revelation chapter 1 and 14. His head and his hair. It's like his head and his hair.
Right, his head and his hair. What is that talking about?
Talking about his facial hair and the hair on his head.
Right, facial hair and the hair on his head. Right, the hair, the beard that he has, and the hair on top of his head. Right, read on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Were what?
White like wool.
Were what?
White like wool.
Right, white being the color, wool being the texture. All right, let's go back to Caesar Borgia. You know what I'm saying? This is the image that people claim to be Jesus Christ. Now, does this man have woolly hair? What type of texture is woolly hair in the first place? Help me out. Go ahead.
It's curly. Not like nappy, like coarse.
What they call nappy, right? Or kinky hair. You get what I'm saying? Right? It's the same texture that only one people on this earth have. And who would that be? What's the obvious answer? Help me out, Ryan. Don't just look at me now. Help me out.
You know what I'm saying?
Niggas.
Niggas.
Right. Niggas is the only people that have woolly texture hair. Right? Now, does this man in this image here, does he have woolly hair? He don't have woolly hair. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see that image, he has long, straight hair. Neither is it white, right? The Bible also gives you the color of his hair, right? I know your arm is hurting, Matthias. You got to keep on holding it up.
Oh, Salaki, sir, I was just about to show woolly texture here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. There you go. Go and show the fro out, man. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. You know,
Right?
I have
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the hair, the same texture of hair that Jesus Christ had. Right? And this is why you had our oppressor, when he put us in slavery, made sure to cut the slaves' hair off. Right? When he conquered America and stole his land from the native Indians, he made sure he put them in schools and had them, all of them, shave their head. Right? Because culturally, we can identify who we are based off our hair texture. Right? And if we make that connection and say, well, this is the people with woolly hair, and we look back in history and we try to find other people with woolly hair, well, guess what? We'll be able to make that connection. Right? We'll make a connection. I got woolly hair, he got woolly hair. We must be related somehow. You get what I'm saying? Well, Jesus Christ had woolly hair, and your oppressor didn't want you to know that. So he put up that false image, shaved off your hair, took your culture away from you. You know what I'm saying? There was a video where I seen when some brother, I guess, was working on an antique chair, right? From the slave in the olden days of during the slavery, right? And now he's cutting up the antique chair. He ended up finding human hair in the chair. You know what I'm saying? And doing the background research, it was reported how the slave masters will kill off the slaves, shave off all of their hair, you know what I'm saying, and use their hair for cushion in their chairs. You know what I'm saying? Real human hair from black slaves and use it as cushion. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't want your afro to grow. They didn't want your braids to show. They didn't want you to indulge yourself in your culture. Right? Just not too long ago as well, if I can mention, I think it was 2019, they dropped the Crown Act bill, right? Where they allow black women to wear their hairstyles however they want in the workspace, right? They can't discriminate against them if they come in with braids, if they come in with an afro, right? And it took all these years in 2019 for them to finally pass that bill. You know why? Because black people for years have always been discriminated against because of their hair. You got braids, you a criminal. You know what I'm saying? You got an afro, it's too ethnic. You know what I'm saying? It's too urban. You know what I'm saying? You always fit the description. Well, guess what? If Christ was alive today, guess what? He'll fit the description as well. They'll look at him as the criminal, as too urban and as too ethnic. You know what I'm saying? And that image, right? If you could pull that image up one more time, Matthias, you know what I'm saying? That image right there, he don't look like no damn, you know, like a man with woolly hair. You got the image up? Okay. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if we can see it from my end. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can barely see it. It's kind of small. It's kind of small, right?
I see it good.
You see it good?
It's small, but
Yeah.
you see it.
Okay, kind. You know what I'm saying? This man right here is who your mama and your granddaddy and your grandmama and your whole family is worshiping on Sunday. When the Bible just told you he had woolly hair, man. Right? Let's read on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes was what?
As a flame of fire.
The eyes as a flame of fire. What is that talking about? Go ahead.
Talking about the fierceness in his look.
Mm-hmm. Why? Well, from what? How is it red? Like, what is it?
Drinking wine?
Right.
I got a question.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, they say his eyes was a flame of fire, and then we said that it was from drinking wine.
Mm-hmm.
But then Christ said he wasn't going to drink no more wine until we reach the kingdom of heaven.
Well, the whites of his eyes was red already from all the wine he was drinking while he was here.
Right, he was here? So
he was known as a wine bibber. You know what I'm saying? So he, loved to have a drink. You dig what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So that means that he died with those same eyes and resurrected with those same
He
eyes?
died as a nigga, so he gonna come back as a nigga. He died with the red eyes, he gonna come back with the red eyes. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it. My question, I think.
Go ahead, my bad.
I think I was thinking about when they said his eyes was a flame of fire. I think that was, I was thinking that they were saying that the fierceness in his look. You know, you ever seen somebody so mad that their eyes, like the white of their eyes turn red, like they read the anger? That's what I thought.
No, so somebody grab me the precept where it talks about
Be the wine bibber?
not the wine bibber one, where it talks about the red. His eyes shall be red from the wine that he drinks, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. It's in the Old Testament. They give a prophecy of Yahushua, and it mentions how, from the wine that he drinks, eyes will be red or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. All right.
Okay.
You got it?
Okay.
Go ahead, Ward.
This is the book of Genesis 49, chapter 49, verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
Shall be what?
Red with wine.
This is the precept right here, right? Genesis 49 talks about what's going to happen to the 12 tribes in the last days. And when it gets to the point of Judah, it mentions and prophesies about Yahushua, right? If you can read up a little bit above that so we can get the context of who this talking about.
Verse 10, sir.
You can start at verse 10, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Genesis 49, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come.
Until who come?
Shiloh come.
Right, talking about Yahushua. The scepter shall not depart from Judah. You know what I'm saying? He is the head tribe, because that is the tribe that our king comes from. Shiloh is talking about Christ, right? Shiloh means peace, right? He is known as the Prince of Peace. This is talking about Yahushua, prophesied in Genesis from their father Jacob, right? Read on.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right. He's the king. Read on.
Verse 11. Binding his fall onto the vine, and his ass's coat onto the choice vine. He washed his garment in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Christ drunk wine. You know what I'm saying? Like we mentioned, Christ was known as a wine bibber, right? Was he abusing alcohol, or was he an alcoholic? No, that's a sin against the Most High, right? For you to, drink unto sin. Drink until you're throwing up. Drink until your pants is falling down and you're stumbling on the street. That's not what Christ was. He can handle his drink. But did he like to have a drink or two? Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. You want to have a drink, have a drink. You know what I'm saying? And Christ did that as well, right? Read on.
Verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
It shall be what?
Red with wine.
Right. So when it mentions it in Revelation, that's where it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? The whites of his eyes being red. Now, could it be used for the fierceness that he had as well? Of course. You know what I'm saying? You can, you meet a cat with the whites of his eyes red. That's pretty fierce to me. You know what I'm saying? He got a deep look. You know what I'm saying? He ain't, blue eyes. You dig what I'm saying? This is a brother with the red eyes. You know what I'm saying? The whites of his eyes red. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ did drink wine. All right? So you could jump back to Revelation.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
Now let's slow this down. Read that one more time for me.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet, right? He went from describing his clothes, his apparel, to describing what's on his head and his hairs. So now he's getting to actual skin tone and his features, his physical features, right? He's looking down on his feet because remember, he has a garment clove down to his feet. So all of his body is covered up, right? So he's looking down on his feet. And when he looks down at his feet, he said it is as the color of, what is it? Fine brass, right? $1 million question got to be, what color is brass? What color is brass? Let me get somebody in the chat to answer. Love that. Yeah, I'm sure you know. You done roll with us a few times. You done holding it down. Somebody answer me. What color is brass? Can we get an image up too, man? Listen, we need a school down here in Orlando, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come on to this truth and change your life, man, so we can build up this school. Right? You see that image right there? That's brass, right? You know what I'm saying? That is brass. And what color does that look like? Right? The sister wrote brown. You know what I'm saying? Exactly right. Anybody can see that and see that's the color of brown. Right? If you got a penny in your pocket, right? A penny is copper. You know what I'm saying? Copper is made up of brass and zinc. Right? That penny right there is brown. You dig what I'm saying? Well, if his feet is brown, somebody answer me this. What is the color of the rest of his body? Help me out, y'all. Maybe y'all, maybe I'm slow a little. I mean, I don't know too much. You know what I'm saying? What if somebody's feet is one color? What is the color of the rest of his body? Now, in this context, is brown. So what color is the rest of his body gonna be? Yeah, go ahead, get down. You know what I'm saying? Go. Brown. You know what I'm saying? Get a brother here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Christ was a black man, man. Now, can I get the picture of Caesar Borgia? Somebody? Somewhere. Find me Caesar. You know what I'm saying? Where he at, man? You know what I'm saying? The internet they trying to block our shrine, man. They hating on us. They don't want us to pull up the image of Caesar Borgia. Right? If you look at that image of who your mom worshiped and who the Christian church worshiped, it's not an image of somebody that resembles brass. It's not the image of somebody that's brown or black. You know what I'm saying? That is somebody with pale skin, right? The same skin color of your slave master, man. Right? See that image that your mom worshipped, that the Christian church worshiped, it is not Jesus Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ was not no white man. He was not no Roman or no Greek. And when he returns, he's gonna return as a nigga. Right? You see that image right there? They got that image right there in Russia. Right? There's a book called The Russian Icons. If I'm not mistaken, that book goes for like $1,300 on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. There you go. Vladimir Putin. Look at the picture that's behind Vladimir Putin, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the images of the saints, the disciples of Christ. And they're all dark skinned. Not one of them are white. But yet you can clearly see the difference between Vladimir Putin and that image. Vladimir Putin looks more like Caesar Borgia. That image that's behind him looks more what we just read about. That lets you know what Jesus Christ looks like. The image that you've been following is a lie, man. All your life you thought that was Jesus Christ, but you really worshiping the beast. You really worshiping the slave master, man. And when Christ returns, you are going to be surprised, man. It's gonna be like Dave Chappelle, when he was a blind dude in the KKK. he took his hood off, and the white people had blue. That's how it's gonna be. Them crackers gonna be surprised when they see Jesus Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? When Christ returned and they see a black man, your head is gonna explode, man. Because they done told you that he was some type of white man, right? He's getting ready to make his return so he can set the record straight. Right? Let's continue on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Feet like unto fine brass. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Hold on now. Not only was it brown, but if you take that same brown brass and burn it in fire, what color will it turn? Go ahead, Kanat.
It will turn black.
It will turn black. Real dark. It's gonna be dark, man. Christ was a dark-skinned black man, man. There's no way how they're getting this white image when you cannot find that in the scriptures. Where are they getting this image from? Who is this white boy? Right? Well, let's break it down. The image that your mama and the Christian church is praying to is really a man named Caesar Borgia. Right? He is the son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. During the Roman Renaissance, after Rome fell, Rome was looking to rebuild itself. That's what the word Renaissance means. It means rebirth, right? So in rebuilding themselves, they painted that image and commissioned Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci to paint that image as Jesus Christ, right? Well, really, that man, Caesar Borgia, comes from a long line of a criminal family, man, of an incestual family. If I'm not mistaken, he murdered his own brother so he can sleep with his sister, Lucretia Borgia. They have specials on it in Showtime that you can look at.
Yeah, it's like
God.
Netflix.
And it's on Netflix now? It's on Netflix.
Right on Netflix.
If you don't know about the Borgias, go right on Netflix. Everybody got Netflix now. You know what I'm saying? You can go on Netflix, type in the Borgias, and learn about this family. Right? And that is the image that they portrayed to be Jesus Christ. And you've been worshiping that image, thinking that is really Christ, man. So guess what? Christ is coming to set the record straight. When he returns with his angels, he's coming for justice. Is it not a crime in America? Is it not identity theft a crime in America? Let you steal somebody's identity, right? And claim to be that person. You're going to do some jail time in America, man. There's judgment behind it if you do that here in America. Well, guess what? It's no different from God. The image that they have set up as Jesus Christ is identity theft, man. And Christ is coming back to judge them for the lies that they spread on this earth, right? So we got his image. Let's drop that. Let me get Acts 1 and 4. The topic is the second coming of Christ. We in the last days, right? And Christ is going to return on this earth. God, 1 and 4. All right, go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And being assembled together with them,
Mm-hmm.
commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem.
Right, being assembled with them, right? This is Christ with the disciples, right? This is after the point where he was crucified. He was crucified already, rose from the dead, and got risen up to be with the Most High. So he's making a return and giving the disciples instructions. All right, read on.
Come. But wait for the promise of the Father,
Mm-hmm.
which saith he, ye have heard of me.
Mm-hmm.
For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence.
Right, so he's letting the disciples know what's going to take place, where to go to teach. Where are you going to teach this gospel at? All right, this is Christ coming to them after he was crucified. Read on.
Come. When they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord.
Right, so the disciples is getting the orders from Yahushua, from Jesus Christ, and now they don't want to ask him a question. Right, read on.
Saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore the kingdom of Israel?
Do what?
Restore the kingdom to Israel?
Do what?
Restore the kingdom again. It's like, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Nah. Why is they asking Jesus Christ this question? Go ahead.
So like I said, because wasn't it prophesied that when your house shall come again, that Israel will be ruling again, the kingdom will come with him?
Right. Yeah, that is true, right? But Christ is here, right? And you have people who didn't even believe that he was the Messiah.
Right.
And they end up killing him, crucifying him. You know what I'm saying? But you had others that actually believed in him as a disciple. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And as a disciple, meaning a student, they asking him, well, is this the time for you to restore Israel? Why would they ask him that?
Because it was prophesied that he would do it.
Which is true.
Because it was being oppressed.
Which is true as well. But that's the necessary point of why they were asked that.
Because His vision was fulfilled.
Right? If I can get a better answer, I need a better answer, man. Somebody else want to try? Go ahead.
Like,
Go ahead.
because when he already passed away and he then came back, so they thought that was the actual time. So I'm just that's what I'm thinking about because
Which is correct. Which is correct. The only reason why they'll ask that question, right? Because obviously, right, based off the prophecies, right, when Christ was alive, what was he teaching?
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
What is the kingdom of heaven?
Rulership.
For who?
For Israel.
For the Israelites, right? So meaning while Christ was on the scene, he was teaching the people that he is here to restore Israel. He was teaching people that he was only sent to the lost tribe of Israel, not to the whole world. So when the disciples asked this question, it's because what Christ taught them. Right? You get what I'm saying? Like even after his death, the narratives have never changed. They asking this question because based off the prophecy, they knew after his crucifixion that he will come back and return and rule over this earth. So now he's coming right now, making a visit to the disciples, right? But now is not the time for him to rule. He's just there to give them orders. So they asking him this question is because this is what they taught. This is what Christ taught them. You get what I'm saying? Christ taught them that he only came for the lost tribe of Israel. He only came for the 12 tribes, not for everybody on this earth. So guess what? When Christ make his second coming, guess who we gonna come from? Come to?
Children of Israel.
Children of Israel. You're gonna come for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and nobody else, man. Right? Let's read on.
Come. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time. It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power.
Right. It wasn't his time at that time to rule over the earth. Right? Read on.
But ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
Right. Read on.
And when he had spoken these things, while they behold, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
Now, after he was done speaking, it said a cloud came to receive him out of their sight. What is this cloud talking about? What is that cloud?
Chariot, a UFO.
Right. Get a brother ahead. You know what I'm saying? It's what they is what they'll call a UFO, right? But in the Bible is recorded as either a chariot, cloud, or even a whirlwind, right? Depending on the context, right? And when it mentions either the cloud or whirlwind or the chariot, it's talking about what the world knows as a UFO. You know what I'm saying? Christ was lifted up in this vehicle, this spacecraft, you know what I'm saying, after he was done speaking to them. You know what I'm saying? So that should let you know that the chariots or the UFOs that you see out there is not filled with green aliens. You know what I'm saying? It's not filled with Marvin the Martian, right? You know what I'm saying? This is vehicles that's piloted by the angels of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Triple.
It's like, I just want to say, so that's where they get that whole, you know how they be saying that whole adoption thing, like when they had like the little light beam down, like,
right,
like,
right, go up.
That's where they get that from.
God,
right?
yeah.
So that's almost sort of like the same thing as what they saying here.
God.
Instead of the light, you know what I'm saying, that he was just taking up.
In the chariot, right? God. The same way they do it, you know, in how they, you know, put in their sci-fi movies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, what they do in making sure that black people's not aware of these chariots, they'll make it some green alien, you know, coming to invade the earth. Right? Now, is there green people that do exist? Gray people that do exist with black eyes? Who knows? Right? God is the creator. He can create anything he want to create. But according to the Bible, that is not biblically accurate, right? The people that's in these vehicles are not green people. It's not Marvin the Martian, but the angels of the Most High, and more specifically, black angels of the Most High. Right? Let's continue on.
Come. And while they looked steadfast toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel.
Right. So angels appeared while they seen them go up into the chariot. Read on.
Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into the heaven?
Mm-hmm.
This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner, as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So what is the angel saying? Go ahead. Well, as a matter of fact, let me give somebody else another chance. My bad. What is the angel saying in this verse? Let me get somebody in the chat, man. So like you, man. I know all these officers, troopers, man. Y'all been rolling too strong. Y'all know every breakdown. Let's get somebody in the chat real quick. What is this talking about?
Salaki, sir.
You said what?
Oh, Salaki, I didn't want to answer that question,
Uh-huh.
but I wanted to bring out in verse 8, okay, when Christ said, in all of Judea and Samaria, and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. Okay, like to me, that that uttermost part of the earth, that's like important. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can read the Bible and you can like consolidate it to what just like the Old Testament, where Christ was, Judea, Samaria, wherever he was at. But it says right here, to the uttermost parts of the earth. So even in France, even in Jamaica, even in America, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna be testimony to Yahushua. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not just over in in our holy land, not only in Samaria, but all four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Damn right. You're exactly right, man. You know what I'm saying? Where the 12 tribes are scattered abroad. You know what I'm saying? We've been scattered as a people. You know what I'm saying? And this is who Christ came. This is why they asked him that question. Right? Are you coming to restore Israel? You know what I'm saying? This is the time where we as a nation is gonna rule this earth. Christ is letting them know, nah, this ain't the time right now.
Right.
What I want you to do is go to these places, go to Judea, go to Samaria, go to everywhere, Jamaica, and go to UK, go to Florida, go to New York, go everywhere and teach this truth. You know what I'm saying? And it also mentions how he was taken up in a chariot. Now the angel is saying, well, the same way you see him come up in the chariot, right? Go ahead, Officer Rod.
Come. So I asked him, because I didn't hear him, good enough. Did he answer the question? But yeah, so the same.
Nah, he didn't answer the question.
Okay. So yeah, the same way that he left, he gonna come back the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Right, meaning what?
In the chariot. He's gonna return in the chariot.
God, yeah, that's exactly right. Right, it's just that they'll put it in the chat as well. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it's talking about. You see him leaving in the chariot. Well, guess what? He gonna come back in a chariot as well. Right, and this is why you see all those sightings of UFOs today. People be recording strange lights in the sky. Lights coming down and stopping abruptly, staying right there, and move to the side and shift over there and then just disappear. What you think those are? Right? They can't even identify what those are. This is why they call them UFOs, unidentified flying objects. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? In the Bible, they are identified. They're identified as the vehicles that is used by the angels of the Most High. Right? They're piloted by the angels. You know what I'm saying? They travel and move about the earth with these chariots. When war breaks out, when tornadoes and all type of natural disasters happen on this earth, guess who's doing it? You know what I'm saying? The Lord is giving the angels the order, and they go out and carry that order. When they go and carry it out, they're not doing it flying with their wings as a little baby and with a diaper on or with a bow and arrow. You know what I'm saying? They're using these vehicles and bringing about the judgment of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Well, in the last days, you're going to see more sightings. You're going to see more lights in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Strange things flashing in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ is getting ready to make his return. And when he returns, you're going to see exactly that. And inside of it, it's not going to be Predator inside of it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be Alien 3 and Will Smith is not going to be able to save the day this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That Independence Day or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is coming back for justice on this earth, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's get Isaiah 63:1. Come on, go ahead.
63. For what you were saying, the way he was going to return, it's Revelations 14:14, the precept.
With the Con, go ahead and read that. Con, read that.
It says, I started 13.
Mm-hmm.
Revelations chapter 14 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors,
Mm-hmm.
and their works do follow them.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, and behold, a white cloud.
Hey, what?
A white cloud.
Wait. Hold on now. It mentions that Christ was taken up in a cloud. And it's saying in Revelations, which is the revealing of the last days, and when Yahushua makes his return, it's saying that a white cloud is going to appear. Talking about that same chariot that it mentions in Acts. Right? Read on. Matthias, that's 4 and 13. Baba Kashaf, if you get Revelations 4 and 13. God.
14.
Oh, 14?
Revelations 14 and
13? Oh, my bad. I apologize. I thought you said 4. Go ahead.
14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud,
Mm-hmm.
and upon the cloud one set like unto the Son of Man.
Who is that talking about? Right, who the world knows as Jesus Christ. God, you can answer too, Rod. No sweat. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. That's Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Having on his head a golden crown,
Mm-hmm.
and in his hand a sharp sickle.
Mm-hmm.
And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat upon the cloud,
Mm-hmm.
Thrust in thy sickle and reap,
Mm-hmm.
for the time is come for thee to reap,
Mm-hmm.
for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
That's exactly what it's talking about, man. That's a good precept. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? The sickle is the gardening tool, right? If you ever seen what they have, even though it's not real, but the Grim Reaper, and he has that long, tool that he has with the blade at the end of it.
Is that what that is, or is it the swords that the Egyptians used to use?
No, that's what they call a scythe, right? A sickle, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a gardening tool. That's what it really is. When it's time for harvest, you just swipe through, boom, and you can cut, a whole patch of grass and collect all your harvest. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That's lucky, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
By them saying he has the sickle,
Mm-hmm.
Thrust in thy sickle and reap. That's metaphoric.
Right, for farming, gardening, right? You know what I'm saying? The same way somebody will get that scythe, say it's like wheat or something. Before they had tractors and all that. You dig what I'm saying? They'll get that scythe and just whoop. Now they can collect all their wheat. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the same thing what it's talking about in this precept. Christ is coming to gather his people, right? And is using that as a metaphor, right? He's going to cut us off from these other nations and gather his harvest, meaning the people that grew out of this world, become brand new and serving Christ. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Asura.
Would another precept to this be when he said that he's going to separate the
tares
sheep from the goat and
God,
the
tares of the wheat? God.
Both of those are precepts.
Yeah, God. Both of them.
The tear from the wheat,
Mm-hmm.
and the sheep from the goat.
God. Yep. Both of those would be good precepts. God. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a perfect precept, right? Christ is coming back with those chariots, those UFOs. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get Ezekiel 63:1.
You said Ezekiel.
I mean Isaiah, my bad.
Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1.
Mhm.
Who is this that cometh from Edom?
Right. Who is asking this question?
Isaiah.
All right, you can raise your hand, but let's get somebody else in the chat to ask. Let's get somebody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Who's asking this question? Who asking this question? All right. You're going to find in this scripture where it's going to be a narration between Yahushua and Isaiah, right? And it first starts out with Isaiah, right? So it's Isaiah asking this question, right? He's asking this question because he's seeing Yahushua. And the question is, who is this that come from Edom? Edom is who? Who's Edom? Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat. Man, I already know you know, man. Who's Edom? Somebody help me out. Who is Edom? Where everybody at, man? Y'all go ahead and wake on up. Who is Edom? Razan said the white man. Exactly right. Get it, brother ahead. Right? According to Genesis 25, when it talks about the birth of Esau and Jacob, Esau will be the progenitor of the so-called white man. Esau eventually grew into the nation known as the Edomites, right? Meaning red, right? Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment. When you look at the white man, he is not literally white. He is not white as this screen right here. You know what I'm saying? But you'll see him, and when you look at him, he is red, different shades of pink. All right? His blood shows forth through his skin because he lacks what they call melanin and pigmentation. Your blood don't show through your skin. That's why you don't turn red when you're in the sun.
Right.
That's why you don't turn red when you get mad. You have blood in you, but it don't show through your skin. Well, guess what? The white man don't have the same skin type as you. So his blood is going to show through his skin when he's out in the sun, when he gets angry. All right? And this is who Edom is. The nation of Edom is the so-called white man. Right? Let's continue on.
Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?
Right?
This that is glorious in his apparel.
Right. He's seeing him, right? Isaiah's asking this question and is seeing him, seeing how he dressed. He's like, man, this garment is clean. He's looking cold in this garment, right? Read on.
Traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Traveling in the greatness of his strength, coming with authority, power, with the chariots. Read on.
I that spake in righteousness.
What was that?
I that spake in righteousness.
Now, who is this speaking now?
Allah.
Hold on. Let me get Mathai. So that was you, Mathai?
Kawaka, sir.
Who's that speaking now?
This is Christ speaking.
Now, this is Christ. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's responding back to Isaiah. All right. He's seeing him in the garment, right? From Bozar, right? What Bozar at? Basra. Like that's a city in Edom, right? If I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? He's coming from the land of the Edomites, from Mount Seir, in a glorious apparel, right? And his response is, man, is me. I that speak in righteousness. Talking about Christ. This is Christ replying back to Isaiah. Right? Let's read on.
I that speak in righteousness,
Mhm.
mighty to save.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel,
Mm-hmm.
and thy garments like him that trotteth in the wine fat?
So his response back to him is, well, why you red in your apparel? Right? Christ has got a fly white garment, all white garment, right? Fly garment. But yet it's stained with red. Go ahead.
Heavily stained.
Heavily stained.
This was one of my favorite scriptures.
God, this is a powerful scripture right here. You know what I'm saying? He's asking him, well, why are you stained in your garment? Why you got red stains? Right? If you tread on wine, you know what I'm saying? What colors come out? What colors flow out? I mean, not wine. If you tread on grapes, what colors gonna flow out? If you're trying to make wine,
Deep red.
deep red, right? So this is why he's asking him this question, because it's the color of a wine press. When somebody presses on wine, presses on grapes to make wine, it's the color of red, and it's splattered all over his garment, right? Read on.
Come. I have trodden the winepress alone,
Mm-hmm.
and of the people there was none with me.
Right, now, who is this speaking? This is Christ now speaking, right? This is his response when he asked him that question. Read on.
For I would tread them in my anger.
He would do what?
Tread them in my anger.
So when Christ returned, what is he getting ready to do?
Tread them in my anger.
Right, so this is why he's coming from Edom. He's coming from Edom not because he's an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? Not because he's a so-called white man. He's coming from Edom because he's getting ready to made war with them. You know what I'm saying? Fighting against Edom. Treading them down in his anger. Bringing back the justice and the salvation of the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? Read on.
And trample them in my fury.
Mm-hmm.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
And their what?
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
Now, somebody will say, well, this is the Old Testament. Huh? That's how he was back then. But God is about forgiveness now. He loves now. He don't want to harm nobody. Right? What you will find, go ahead, also, right? Kyle, go ahead.
That would be totally illogical.
Mm-hmm.
Because at what point was it documented that he did this
Mm-hmm.
in the New Testament?
Right.
It hasn't happened yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
a prophecy.
Kyle,
You know what I'm saying?
Kyle, go ahead.
And not only that, to add what Officer Ryan said was a heavy point was Christ was whipping niggas in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't no peaceful. I love everybody.
God.
He sat there and took his time, made a belt, and was whipping niggas.
Yeah, exactly right. But here's the thing. Y'all been taught by a holy man in the ISUPK, so y'all already know what it is about Christ. But the average Christian would be like, the Old Testament is done. What we reading right now, they won't even read it. Right? Because the Old Testament is done away with. Right? So all they think in their mind they can rely on is the New Testament. And the spin that they put on it is that it's all about forgiveness. It's all about love. There's no war. He's not going to fight nobody. He's not going to kill nobody. Right? And a lot of times you'll find the same things that's mentioned in the Old Testament is also mentioned in the New Testament. How Christ looked like is written in Revelations 1-13. Well, you can find that same description written in Daniel 10-5. You get what I'm saying? Because the Old Testament and the New Testament is the same thing. They correlate with each other. Right? Let's get Revelations 19-11. Let's see if the New Testament mentions what we just read about. This sounds like a violent act that Christ is doing in the Old Testament. How could he do this? You know what I'm saying? Well, let's see if we can find it in the New Testament. 19-11. You got it? You go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 19, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw heaven open,
Mm-hmm.
and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true.
Mm-hmm.
And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war.
He does what?
Doeth judge and make war.
Read that one more time. Start me up from the top one more time.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Now, who is this obviously talking about? Talking about Christ, right? He was faithful unto the Most High, even unto death. Always spoke the truth of the Most High. Did not give you a sugarcoating of the teachings of God, like the Pharisees did. He was faithful and true, right? That is his reputation. Read on.
And in righteousness.
In righteousness. Read on.
He doeth judge and make war.
What did he do?
Judge and make war.
Now he coming here to hug and love everybody.
Judge and make war.
Now he just coming to bring everybody together and stop Vladimir Putin.
Judge and make war.
When Christ returned, he is coming to judge and to make war with the powers that be of this earth. With Edom, with Esau, with Russia, with the U.S., and all these other nations. All right. With all these other nations that oppress so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? He's not coming to love and hug everybody. Right? He's coming to judge and to make war. Now, what is the casualties of war?
Yeah.
What comes with war? Go ahead.
Collateral damage.
There you go. Death, right? You know what I'm saying? That is a casualty of war. You know what I'm saying? People dying, bleeding, being dismembered, arms blown up, leg blown up, fingers cut off. This is what Christ is coming back to do with the angels of the Most High. He's coming to make war. You thought Putin was bad. Watch when Yahweh Shah come through. They ain't gonna have a chance, right? Go ahead, Triple.
So it just reading that in Isaiah and just thinking and just looking at it like he had to be in Super Saiyan mode to just go through Basra like that and just wipe out everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he had to go, like he had to be in some kind of what they would call extraterrestrial body form, like it just shoo. You know what I'm saying? Like just that quick. I don't know if he took his time going through the city. You know what I'm saying? Making sure he did what he did, but it was like he came back in his strength. Like he coming back like, yeah, I did that.
Man, right. God went to war with them guys. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I may, you know, just like correlating the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him being called the shepherd. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a point to where that shepherd is taking thorough revenge on the rest of the beasts of the field that preyed on his sheep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. God, because why does it say in righteousness he judges and makes war? Why does it say that? What's righteous about war? Right? War, what is it good for? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Well, it says it's righteous that he's going to war. So what's good about war? Why is he going to war? Go ahead, Al-Sarah.
Because the ones that he's going to war against have committed the crimes necessary for the judgment.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
They're not guilty. I mean, they're not innocent.
Right.
They are guilty.
God. And they have never paid for what they done. Well, guess what? Somebody, it has to be strong enough to make them pay. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Christ is getting ready to do. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It's like if I may, you know, the Christian church so detrimental to the mindset of our young soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they believe that they serve somebody that will never take revenge for what they've been through.
Mm.
They believe they'll serve somebody that's basically a coward.
Right.
Or just passive. Oh, forgive them. I'm not going to do anything to them. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why pedophiles is getting away with touching and raping little children. Because, just forgive them for what they do. There's never any, the Christian church doesn't teach judgment. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't teach that there's a penalty to pay for your actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But imagine the mindset of our youth if they understood the Savior is going to avenge you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to take pleasure and making for sure the ones that oppressed you without a cause.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That had a perpetual hatred against you. That they're gonna pay thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding that. You know what I'm saying? But the Christian church that made Christ a coward.
Damn right. God. You know what I'm saying? Because the Christian church is not even serving Christ. They serving Caesar Borgia. You're serving a white boy thinking that's Jesus Christ.
Beach boy.
Right, the beach boy. You know what I'm saying? And they painted that image to be somebody loving and passive and forgiving, because whatever your slave master does to you, you never think to yourself that I deserve justice for it. You know what I'm saying? You let him get away with anything because the image that he has set up as your savior, as your king, and as your God looks just like him. You get what I'm saying? And if he's talking about forgiving and letting it go, well, guess what? I'll do the same to the people that's been murdering me for over 400 years. I'll do it to the same people that's been abusing me and treating me cruel on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Because the image is telling me to do so. Not holding no accountability. And that's why your oppressor gets away with everything. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Salaki, my bad. I could have sworn I heard.
Yeah, Salaki, sir, if I may.
Khan, go ahead.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, Con. Now, I just wanted to hammer home the point. I didn't know if this scripture had brought out, but even Christ in one of the parables in Luke 19:27, he said, "But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me." That don't sound like, rainbows and bubbles and all that type of stuff. That ain't the Christ that they taught in the Christian church. They just really even skip over this whole parable, especially that last part when he said, bring my enemies and slay them before me. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit of Christ.
God, damn right, man. You know what I'm saying? That is the true spirit of Jesus Christ, a black man from the tribe of Judah. Right, let's continue on.
Come. We in Revelation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come. Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Right, meaning he had authority. He came to get rulership, right? Read on.
And he had a name written that no man knew, but he himself.
What is that talking about? His name is what? Yahushua, right? Who else had a name that was similar to his? How would you translate Yahushua into English?
Salaki, sir.
This transliteration, right? Go ahead, Al-Salabiyah.
You said, how would you translate Yahushua in English?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be Joshua?
Joshua, right? Now, there's also somebody else that was famous in the Bible named Joshua. Go ahead.
That's the translation or transliteration?
Translation, right? Yeah, Joshua. The transliteration will be Jesus, right? Meaning the pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah, God, the pronunciation of his name, right? Translation would be Joshua, right? There's also somebody else that's famous in the Bible that has the same name. So this is not actually talking about his literal birth name, right? Because there's somebody else that knows his name that has his name. So what is this talking about?
It's like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It said, I know the answer, but
Yeah, go give it a good answer because we got time. Say we got.
men above me.
Now we got time for the time's sake. Go.
It's his reputation.
His reputation, right? Get a brother a hand. It's talking about the reputation of Christ, right? He has a reputation that's set apart from everybody else. No matter who was written of, the great men of the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Christ stood above all of them because he never broke the commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That's, no different if you have, I'm sure everybody knows a man in the hood. There's at least like 3 other man-mans in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Well, all this, everybody know them, right? But each of them is known for a different thing. They got their own separate reputation. So if you describe a man, you be like, nah, the man that did this, that did that. You be like, oh, I know who you're talking about. All right? That's the same thing what it's talking about in this scripture. It's talking about Christ, meaning his reputation stands alone from the other Joshuas, from the other great men, from the other prophets.
You know what I'm saying? And that he is the king of Israel, right? Read on.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
He was what?
Clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
Now, what does that sound familiar to?
Isaiah.
Isaiah 63, right?
Okay.
It sounds just like what we just read about in Isaiah 63. Because guess what? The New Testament and the Old Testament both correlates with each other. Read on.
Okay. And his name is called the Word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses,
Mm-hmm.
clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword,
Mm-hmm.
that with it he should smite the nations.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
You're going to do what?
Rule them with a rod of
You're going
iron.
to rule them fiercely, right? They're going to be captives unto us. Read on.
And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty God.
What did he do?
Treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty God.
So why did his vesture or his garment look like it was dipped in blood?
That's exactly what you say.
Uh-huh.
Because he smite the nations.
Because he smit the nations, and the analogy that they use is what?
He treaded the
He
winepress.
treaded the winepress. The same analogy that he used in Isaiah. All right, you press out that red grape, you're going to get red flowing out of that red grape. Go ahead.
It doesn't just flow, it splatters.
Yeah. Right, you know what I'm saying? You want to, right, go ahead, get on that detail, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, that's the reality of warfare. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be blood flowing, splashing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? This is what Christ is getting ready to do when he returns, right? Let's read on.
Come. And he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written,
Mm-hmm.
King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven,
Mm-hmm.
come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God.
Right. What is this talking about? Go ahead.
Telling them to come eat bodies.
Dead bodies, right? Right. You a vulture eats dead carcasses, a corpse. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got birds that's carnivores. It's describing all the dead bodies that's laying around. Now he's inviting the beasts of the air, the birds, the carnivores that eats flesh, to come and eat. Come and feast on all these people that's laying down dead on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And all these birds that he's telling to come eat the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
we don't eat.
Right.
They are clean.
Right,
Because the
God.
purpose is
For
to clean the earth.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly right. Let's continue on.
Come. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses,
Mm-hmm.
and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond,
Right. Read on.
both small and great.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat.
To do what?
To make war with
Mhm.
him that sat on the horse.
Right. So they're at war, right? They're at conflict. But when Christ returns, they're gonna try to find some way to come together to fight against Christ. Right? They'll make it out to be some type of alien invasion. And that goes back to the question that you asked earlier, Trooper Kanat. Right? When Christ returns, is it gonna be after or before? But the Bible's gonna let you know it's gonna be in the midst of it. You dig what I'm saying? Those that serve the Most High and change their life now, you will not have to go through the nuclear explosion that's gonna happen on this earth, the devastation and all the destruction that's gonna happen on this earth. The Lord is gonna redeem His people and bring them up in those chariots so they don't have to suffer that death. You know what I'm saying? But those that don't change their life, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? You're going to get hit in the head with a nuclear warhead. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come flying across your living room and hit you right across the face. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't want to serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? This is getting ready to happen. And while they doing all this war and beefing with each other, Christ is going to make his return. Christ is going to make his return, and they're going to focus their attention on him. But they ain't going to be able to stop him. All right, let's continue on.
Come. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him,
Mm-hmm.
with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast,
Mm-hmm.
and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
Right. The people that's ruling this earth today ain't going to be ruling no more when Christ returns. And this is what is going to happen when he returns. Right? You think they're going to want to give up their power to Christ? Listen, they ruling the whole earth. Everything is at their leisure. They can do what they want, go what they want, have what they want. You think anybody want to give that up? So they guess what? They're going to try to fight against Christ, even in the midst of fighting against each other. You know what I'm saying? But when Christ returns, he's going to win. He's going to be victorious over them. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be able to establish the 12 tribes of Israel. And you're going to see no more images of a white Jesus. You won't hear no more about Christianity. Ain't going to no more Islam. None of that is going to be going on in this earth. The earth is going to be governed by so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people with the laws of the Most High.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And with that, man, we're going to go ahead and end the class. Somebody said Salakia, my bad. Yeah, I don't want to get, you know. What we call him? Heyman? That's Heyman out there, man. That's what we hate.
Oh, yeah, Heyman.
Heyman, you know what I'm saying? All right. Your brothers wanted to bring out anything?
The white man, devil.
That's right. All right, man. So with that, man, we're going to go ahead and end the class. The water everybody came through. Class will continue on tomorrow on the same channel, ISUPK Florida. So make sure you subscribe. Big up all the brothers, man. Officer in the shop. You know what I'm saying? Officer Rayala. You know what I'm saying? Give it up, y'all. Give it up. You know what I'm saying? Officer Lapaya. Officer Yawasap. Trooper Kanak. Trooper Mathaya. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to y'all brothers. And like I said, man, we'll be back on tomorrow, y'all. So shalom, Israel.
Shalom.